we'll get into Rodney Harrison because I got my own thoughts to that idiot. Because he's an idiot. Ever since he retired, he's been complaining, why am I not in the Hall of Fame? And making excuses about why he has not been inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was a great player. Ever since Rodney Harrison has retired, he's been crying the blues. Why haven't some of these Patriots that should be in the Hall of Fame ever been picked? It's a catastrophe on the NFL and the way they treat him. This guy, since he's retired, he's worked for NBC. He's a horrible broadcaster. Every time the Patriots are on, every time the Kansas City Chiefs are on, every single time the Chargers are on, he blows them up like there's some kind of special thing to his heart. He was there when the Chargers got whipped in the second half by the Jaguars. And what did he say after the game? We weren't even supposed to be here this year, and that we have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and if we just fix certain things in the offseason, we can win a Super Bowl. You haven't played football in 12 years, buddy. And you're speaking about we. And with the New England Patriots making excuses for Bill Belichick and now attacking Bill Belichick because you didn't like how he was running his defense. But nevertheless, you have stuck up for the New England Patriots for years. Robert Kraft, when he was jerking his chain in different massage places.
He was Deshaun Watson before Deshaun Watson.
Making excuses. He's got a right to do whatever he wants. Rodney, you should keep your mouth shut. You might be right about Zach. He might suck. He might be one of the worst quarterbacks. I'm one of the guys that believe he's probably the worst quarterback the Jets have ever had. On Sunday Night Football, Week 4, he was not. He is the first and only quarterback to outplay Patrick Mahomes in a full game. I'm not saying that you haven't had guys like Josh Allen or Joe Burrow have good games against Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about an unknown quarterback that everybody thinks is a crappy piece of garbage. Rodney Harrison had no right attacking Zach Wilson. And there were a lot of people, like Micah Parsons, saying his piece. Micah Parsons said, to me, that's an unfair assessment to Zach Wilson, who is a very unique talent. You can't just watch tape and label him as bad. You may not put him in the Mahomes category, but he's capable of being a good NFL quarterback. Parsons then offered words to support Zach Wilson. I wish you nothing but success and hope you develop into a great player and surprise everyone. Micah Parsons, who is one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best, who played against Zach Wilson, came out and stuck up for Zach Wilson. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to speak up for Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson hasn't said anything since that. I know the press is trying to get it out of him, but he will not do it. And I'm sure Robert Saleh has pulled him into his office and said, listen, Zach, whatever you hear from the press, do not answer questions that could cause or stir up problems for you going into week number 5 against the Broncos. Aaron Rodgers might travel with the team this week. The Jets believe in the team more when Rodgers is there from when he's not. They're a different team when Rodgers is there watching the games. It shows that this team believes that they can win. I believe Zach Wilson believes he could be a quarterback that is competent enough to get wins for this team. Zach Wilson should have been upset because he got screwed. His first game that he showed up to, and he actually played one of his best football games in his college career and his NFL career. He actually showed that he could be a competent quarterback in the NFL. He loses a game because the referees couldn't call holding calls and couldn't call the right calls in the important parts of the game. He actually showed up, stood out there as a quarterback, and the offensive line gave him time for the last 2 weeks, and he finally figured out how to complete passes. He did it against a good defense, Chris Jones, who is one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. A secondary that's not very good. They had the Honey Badger, now the Honey Badger's no longer there. They had one of the best secondaries in football, and now one of the worst secondaries in football. Aaron Rodgers shows up to the Kansas City Chiefs and New York Jets game on Sunday Night Football. He sat up in the press box, not with the Swifties, with himself. And you can see that when he showed up to the stadium, the team played harder. They went out there and they put up a game that nobody thought they were going to put up. That says a lot about this team and this organization. If Aaron Rodgers is there, they want to show that they can be that dominant force that everybody thought they were going to be with Aaron Rodgers this year. And on Sunday Night Football, falling 17-0 against Kansas City in the first quarter, everybody thought it was over. Zach Wilson stood in the pocket, made every single throw he needed to. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes.